Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to the regular meeting. We're going to start out with the Guymon Housing Authority tonight, but at this time, I would like to invite Father Mike to come up and bless us.
Thank you. It's an honor to do so. Let us offer ourselves to the Lord, calling upon His presence here in this meeting tonight. Heavenly Father, we thank you for being with us and giving us this beautiful day in order to witness your glory to those around us. May you be present here tonight during this meeting. Give us the gifts of the Holy Spirit of wisdom and compassion, love for one another as we deliberate the things that are necessary for the orderly running of this community. May your blessings fall upon each of us, upon those that we represent, and upon all those that come to us in their need. And we ask these blessings tonight in Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Swagger, will you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda item number 2 is attendance roll call.
Peterson,
Here.
Swager,
Here.
Alvidrez,
Here.
Crone,
Here.
Livengood, Hawkins,
Here.
Mr. Petty,
Here.
Mr. Mitchell.
Here.
Agenda item number 3 is to approve the minutes of the December 20th, 2016 regular meeting.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes of the December 20th, 2016 regular meeting.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Swager,
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Alvidrez,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 4 is discussion and possible on action on approval of the AHIP rebate to Lance Wendell Development in the amount of $72,000.
You have a memo attached giving you a review of the status of his project. He's completed and sold 6 new units, and he has 2 remaining, and so the request tonight is for $72,000 for those that he's completed and sold that meet the requirements of the grant.
6 were disqualified.
Yes. Remember, in the agreement and the incentive, they have to be in a certain price range, and those 6 did not fall in that price range.
Is there any discussion?
He's still got 2 more.
He has 2 left. Well, I think one is a model home that may not be sold. So he has 2 remaining. Now, whether or not both will be sold, I do not know.
What was the time frame?
Time frame.
You say it didn't fall within the time frame?
No, it didn't fall within the price range.
Oh, price frame. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Okay.
Right.
I was hoping some new batteries.
Right.
Yeah, I need new batteries.
Brings the total up to 22, right?
Yes.
Any discussion, questions? Motion?
Make a motion that we approve of AHIP rebate to Lance Wendell Development, item 4.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second.
Swager,
Aye.
Alvidrez,
Aye.
Crone,
Nay.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 3 ayes and 1 nay.
Agenda item number 5 would be public comments and announcements. Public comments and announcements. Any new business? We'll stand adjourned as the Guymon Housing Authority. We'll reconvene. We'll reconvene as the Guymon City Council. Agenda item number 2 is approval of the consent agenda.
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 3 is public comments and announcements. Are there any public comments and announcements? Agenda item number 4 is discussion and possible action on ordinance number 817, an ordinance establishing a moratorium on placement of construction of certain signs and upon the issuance of sign permits for a period of not to exceed 120 days, suspending for the moratorium period all other ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing perseverability and declaring an emergency. Mr. Clapsaddle.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is our first step in implementing our comprehensive plan. This moratorium will allow us to put sign criteria in place, an ordinance where all the criteria are in one place. It will prevent us from issuing a permit that may be non-conforming after the sign permit is adopted. It will make sure we do not have to issue an off-site sign or billboard until we have reasonable regulations in place. The staff report is before you. If there are no questions or comments, we respectfully ask for your approval.
So this 120-day moratorium, basically no new signage?
There's no new signage for 120 days.
Right.
And the reason for that is because we need to treat all signs equally. We need to treat on-site signs the same as cabinet signs, the same as off-site signs. So that way, everybody is treated in the same manner.
And I might also point out that our current sign ordinance is very minimal. There's very little for us to go with, and so we think it's important now that we have a comprehensive plan and that we are expecting a lot of development along our arterials to have sort of a timeout, if you will, and allow us a period of time to draft that ordinance. We've already got a preliminary draft that we're working with, so it would give us time to have that discussion, have that conversation with the council, and get it in place before we start issuing these signs.
And we truly believe that 120 days will be enough time to do this. So it's a set period of time.
Any questions?
Does this catch the billboards as well? Is
Yes,
that
sir.
included in your signs?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, but it is limited to the city limits. We
Inside
can't-
city
yeah.
limits.
That's
Right.
true, within the city limits.
How many are outside of city limits that you know of? Have you guys looked into that?
I'm not sure.
Now, there are certain requires that Department of Transportation has for highway signs, but we really don't have any influence over that.
As far as the billboards coming into town, those are all inside city limits?
I don't think we have many coming in, but if we have one, especially with the casino being proposed in the near future, we want to make sure that we don't have to issue a sign that we're not ready to issue. And we want to make sure we don't have to issue a permit for a sign that 120 days later they build it and doesn't conform to the code.
The one at Main and Highway 50 more, the one at Main and Highway 54 probably is a good example of whether you like that sign or not. That's the example that we're talking about
Right.
is not only looking at the signage, but distances and sight triangles and that sort of thing.
And safety and public welfare as well.
Right.
Any questions? Discussion? Motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve ordinance number 817.
Second?
Have a motion and a second?
Swager,
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 4 ayes.
I'll make a motion. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I make a motion that we declare it an emergency.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second?
Swager,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 4 ayes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Agenda item number 5 is discussion and possible action on resolution number 1709. A resolution setting utility rates, solid waste disposal charges, fees, and deposits, and establishing procedures for utility connects, disconnects, and reconnections. Anyone from staff? Mr. Mitchell, anybody want to talk about it?
Mitchell, do you have any comments on this? Routine? Just,
This is on the resolution on utility rates.
Didn't they already go into effect?
They are in effect.
Well, I thought we did too.
Yeah.
Everything's on here. The 1709, the only thing that I could see that, and I don't know, maybe Lavona knows on how this got to council, I'm not for sure.
You want me to speak?
If you would.
Okay. We approved 1701 with the $5 transfer station fee dropped last council meeting. I had that on the GUA agenda. It should have been on the city
Okay.
council agenda.
Oh, okay.
And also, we sent it to Mr. Petty for his approval, and he had us rearrange a little bit of the wording in there, so.
Okay.
So this is,
So it's the
cleanup.
same
So this
thing,
is
it's
ha-
just changing it from the GUA.
Yeah.
so this is basically housekeeping.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions, discussion? Motion?
Make a motion that we accept resolution number 1709, item 5.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 6 is presentation of monthly activities and financial report by Artist Incubation. And Marcia's mother's here tonight.
I think it's Marcia's mother, right?
Well, that's all I've ever known you as all month.
Kim says, I can't remember your name, but I know you're Marcia's mother. Okay. And Sally, I'm Doris Henderson. And I'm finance manager for Artist Incubation, which I've been there for 13 years now. Some things we started last month. We talked about the lighting. We're going to get more lighting in there. That's in the works, and hopefully we'll have it done by July. We're expecting to get time for that. Also including that lighting is in the kitchen, because we mentioned that we're trying to get a licensed kitchen, and that should be completed hopefully by the last of July in order for those people to use that so they can make their food products and they can sell it at the fair. It has to be a licensed kitchen in order for them to sell. So to be compliant in that area, we hope we'll have that ready for them. So we're working on that. And the fire inspector came, and the only thing we don't have right now is a lighted exit sign, and that's on order. So we, hopefully by next week or two, we'll have that put in. We have updated our sign. If you noticed down on Highway 54, going out by Walmart, that area, we've updated that sign to show that we have our art camps all summer long for children and for adults. And they're filling up. We have people calling every day to do that, and we're going to have those every week until school starts. So we're looking for that. So you'll know, David, Dinner on the Lake is scheduled. We're going to keep that, but the date is contingent on the fire dancers. I don't know if you know or not, but we're having fire dancers at the Dinner on the Lake this year. And first of all, they were booked for September, but right now we're not sure about the date, but that's coming. So we're kind of excited about that. Also, with our licensed kitchen, you got the logo for Made in Guymon last month. I think she showed it to you. We're excited about that. We want to sell a lot of things in Made in Guymon, so we're working on that. Anything else that you want to ask? No?
Any questions?
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 7 is presentation of monthly activities and financial report by Main Street Guymon.
I'm not Malin. My name is Christine Scott. I am a board member of Main Street Guymon. Malin is sorry that she couldn't be here, but she is in Oklahoma City at the Historical Preservation Conference teaching. So she sent me. Main Street Guymon's booming right now. We're doing lots of things. In the month of May, we had one of our Transformer kids complete his community service project. He painted over all of the graffiti at the Kids Inc. Buildings and facilities, baseball facilities and stuff like that with his parents and his brother. We also had 19 Guymon residents and area residents attend the Oklahoma Main Street Awards Banquet. I did set the awards program out at your stations, so that was very exciting. Malin said that, I did not go myself, but Malin said that that was the most any community had we almost filled up two tables. And she said that was exciting to see, and it was a good time. They did not win any of the awards that they were up for, but she says that they're working hard to get those so that next year that they can have maybe a finalist or a winner. So, is there any questions that I can answer?
Anybody have any questions?
No.
Thank you.
I know. Thank you.
Agenda item number 8 is discussion and possible action on approval of the Verizon Site Access Agreement.
Yes, item 8 and 9 are connected. One is an access agreement. I have been visiting with representatives from Verizon for probably at least 6 months, maybe 7, about their request to site communication equipment on one of our water towers, and we've been negotiating the terms for that permit for that period of time, and our city attorney's been very, very helpful in getting the attorneys in Austin, Texas to understand what municipal government in Oklahoma is all about. So with his help, we've managed to work out the terms and conditions of a licensing permit for their equipment, and the purpose of the access agreement is for them to be able to come in and do some evaluation of the site to make sure that their equipment's going to fit, and they're going to be able to get the utilities to the site and locate their apparatus at the appropriate location. So we think that once they look at the site and do that evaluation, we'll be prepared to issue the permit. And so we're asking the council to, first of all, approve the access agreement and then approve the permit. And then item number 9, we were able to negotiate, I think, some fairly favorable terms for the city. Originally, Verizon wanted to pay a lease payment of about $1,000 a month, and we were able to increase that, double that. And then after the initial term of 5 years, then that annual payment would increase by 3% per year over the life of the agreement. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, or perhaps the city attorney could answer your questions if I can't.
Have we got any comparisons? Do they have any of this on anybody else's tower or water towers?
Well, they do throughout the
different cities?
Well, they do throughout the state, and it's fairly common practice. I know that we negotiated them in Yukon, and I know that we've done that in Lawton, so it's fairly common. The issue that you really want to watch out for, in my opinion, is that you make sure that they're not subleasing or piggybacking off of their equipment and allowing other communication systems to be attached, whether that be telephone or wireless or other types of communication. So I think we've been pretty good at watching that, and as we put the agreement together.
Did Verizon approach the city? I know over time, it's been the city's practice to not lease any space on our water towers, if I'm not mistaken.
I think Verizon contacted Guymon about 1.5 years ago, something like that. And then they contacted me, as I said, in October, November. And we've been going back and forth for the last 5-6 months.
I noticed that the permit is going to be basically all telecommunications,
Yes.
doing business as Verizon.
Yes, and their home office is in Austin, Texas.
Does that rate, is that comparable to what Lawton or anybody else getting, that $2,000 a month?
I think that's very favorable. I mean, it just depends on your market. I think the larger the market, the denser the demographics. Your council member here could probably speak to that, but I think it all depends on their market. Obviously, they need service. I know the one in Yukon was more, had to do with their relays. They had a problem with connectivity, I guess is the way you'd say that. And so they needed the space in Yukon to boost their signal, or I'm not a techie, but they needed more for that purpose rather than just reaching additional customers.
Well, on the agreement, the $2,000, is that for on top of the water tower, and does that also include the ground site below that they would use for
Yes, just leasing the space.
both spaces?
Yes.
For 2,000?
Yes.
Okay. I guess going back to number 8,
Yes.
if we would approve number 8, that gives them the ability to come inspect the site and see.
Have access to the site.
Have access to see
Yes.
if it would work for them.
Yes.
So that'd be the first step of the process.
Yes. And I guess my observation would be if the council's not interested in performing or signing the permit, then you don't approve the access agreement, because there's no real point in approving one without the other. Doesn't necessarily mean that you approve it, but I mean, I'm saying if you're not interested in having Verizon at that location, then denying their access agreement probably is the step to take. But if you are interested, then obviously that's the first step that needs to be made.
I guess my concern is, what does this do to the effect of PTCI?
I can't answer that question. I think Verizon is looking for that equipment to enhance their service, so it's open for discussion, I guess. No one else has approached the city that I'm aware of. So I'm guessing that the other companies have adequate service and are able to service their network customers, so I don't know.
PTCI's been very helpful, you know, interchanging with the city as far as, you know, helping trim trees, pick up trees, limbs and things like that. I would hate to see that damaged, that relationship damaged, but at the same time, you know, I wish there was somebody here from PTCI that we could ask, is this going to affect, you know?
I'm going to abstain from this vote, but I will leave you with this, in my opinion, is not enough for the leasing of space in the cellular market. So that is my opinion, but I'm going to abstain from this vote.
Would it be of value just for us to have some time to do some homework and check on some figures with other towns or other people to make sure we're getting the market for this space?
Sure, that's your prerogative. If you so direct me, I can do some of that.
Mr. Crum, what's your thinking on this?
I'd like to have a little better service.
Well, I understand. I can agree with that. I just want to make sure we're making maybe the best deal possible. And apparently that, the way it sounds like you've been negotiating with them for quite a while, you and Mr. Petty. And, like I say, it goes back to me having the relationship that the city has had with PTCI.
I guess my question would be, you know, we hear that these cell towers go in to give better service and so on and so forth. Are they putting up other towers in the area to increase their service? And is this just a cost saving to build a tower, or, you know, like I say, I am a Verizon customer. I don't mind telling you, but And we don't have any service in some areas around here. So, yes, on one hand, it's kind of enticing to me. Mr. Alvidrez says that this may not meet industry standard as far as the amount. So frankly, I really don't know what.
Well, obviously, their option is to build the tower,
Yeah,
but obviously, the other side of that is there's no revenue stream to the city if they build the tower, so
Right.
that's the other part of that.
good point.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that we table 8 and 9, and so we can do a little bit more investigation, find out. I am concerned about the relationship that this might cause between the city and PTCI. And,
I'm not, well, I don't think PTCI is going to be that, we've got a good relationship, but I want to get the best deal for the city, that's my concern.
I'd like to make a motion to table item number 8 and item number 9.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvidrez,
I abstain.
Swager,
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 3 ayes and 1 abstain.
I do want to thank the counselor and the city manager for all the work they did in that. It looks really good.
Okay, agenda item number 10 is discussion and possible action on approval of payment to the City Bank and Trust in the amount of $18,566 to reimburse for ad valorem and property taxes for the leased real property at 424 North Main for the years 2013, 14, 15, and 16.
I gather we're liable for this.
But I think when we did the lease, it was.
Yeah, that's
part
the
of it.
city, the lease purchase contract provided the city would pay ad valorem tax, so.
Okay.
I don't know why it just now comes up after
5 years.
But in any event, we do.
They may foreclose on you if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Any questions, discussion?
I make a motion that we approve payment to the City Bank and Trust in the amount of $18,566 to reimburse for ad valorem and property taxes.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvidrez,
Abstain?
Swager,
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
3 ayes and 1 abstain.
Agenda item number 11 is discussion and possible action on approval of AHIP rebate to Lance Wendell Development in the amount of $72,000. Can you do that? Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the AHIP rebate, Lance Wendell Development, item 11.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Nay.
Alvidrez,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
3 ayes, 1 nay.
Agenda item number 12 is discussion and possible action on approval of budget amendment number 1 for the Guymon Development Fund number 16 for an increase of $5,000. Mr. Mitchell.
Apparently, over the last couple of years, there's been an allocation made out of the hotel motel tax to set up a line item to assist in the cultural district and their efforts to obtain a grant. And I saw that in the budget document for last year, but we did not make that appropriation or that allocation this year in this year's budget. So that's the reason for the request, because they have the cultural district does have a grant pending, or they plan to submit a grant by the end of the month. Is that correct? And they need the line item as a local match for that grant.
The adjusted appropriations, what's that 13,700?
I am not sure of that. Can't answer your question.
Okay.
I would say that those are other adjustments or appropriations that have been made since the initial fund balance of 595, 752. But I don't know what that represents.
Represents actual appropriations.
Yes, but I'm not sure what that is.
Okay. I guess my next question is, why do we have such a large fund balance in this fund?
I would say that's the accumulation of funds from previous years.
Okay.
Sally, would that be your observation?
I believe that's correct.
Would we be better off using those funds in some other fund,
Well, they're done.
or can we?
I'm not sure that we can, but we can look at, I can check on that.
Okay.
I'm not sure that we can.
I'll get him back. I'll make a motion, we approve item number 12, amendment number 1 of the Guymon Development Fund.
And I will send out a memo to you to explain the 13.7.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 13 is discussion and possible action to nominate one person for the Oklahoma MRF District 8 trustee position. It's a municipal retirement fund. Does anybody want to be on it?
No, sir.
No, thank you.
So do I have any nominations, I guess? Correct.
Well, what do we have? 6 members in that fund right now? 6 people? We don't have that many, do we?
No, we don't.
They're wanting to know if we want to
Yeah.
nominate somebody from here to run against anybody else from the district.
Yeah.
I think there are 8 districts,
Yeah.
if I'm remembering right.
It's a lot of fun, probably.
Do you want to do
No, I
it?
don't want to.
I think Chet wants to do it.
No.
How about
All right.
Sean?
So shall we say we've taken no action on that? Or do we need a motion?
Do we need a motion?
I don't think you need a motion.
Okay.
No action taken.
All right.
No volunteers found.
Agenda item 14 is reports and comments from city manager and council members.
Have 3 items for you. Handed out your monthly report on fire and police activity. I think the fire department had more activity than the police. I think that's the way that's supposed to work. The second item is we have a group coming in next week, a 2-day workshop. The OU Institute of Quality Communities will be here next. They're driving in on Monday, but they will do a community downtown walk on Tuesday morning and hold some meetings. And I think this is a very important first step, another first step. I guess if you can have several first steps, but this is another part of the comprehensive plan. They're going to come in and give us some observations about our community and what they like, what they think we need to do to improve. And I think it's always valuable to have a group, especially from the OU Institute here, to give us their opinions on how we can improve our downtown and improve our community. So I would encourage everyone to participate in that. Guymon is actually, I don't know if you'd call it the model, but we are a pilot for this program, that we're the only community in the state that's been selected to participate right now. And we have a couple of press releases going out, and encourage everyone to take part in those events. We're going to have one at the library Tuesday night starting 5:30, and then there will be a follow-up session here in City Hall Wednesday morning, and they will give us their, I guess, final report or recommendations or findings, however you want to say that, at the meeting on Wednesday morning.
Okay.
And then the final item that I gave you, we just received the sales tax report for the month of June. The news still is not good, but it's improving, I guess is a way to look at it that way. We are only down a little over 4% this month as opposed to 7, 8, 9, and 10%, so we're moving in the right direction. The one thing that I see in this report, and I don't know, Sally, maybe you can figure it out, I can't, is that for 5 months, the receipts are almost the same. It's almost flat, and you don't really see that in sales tax. You see a lot more up and down. But if you look from February to June, our collections were right at $490,000 for every month, and that's just very unusual. So I don't know what's going on there, but
Mr. Peterson, Mayor Peterson had asked whether Amazon had begun turning in receipts.
yes.
So they have? Or do
Yes,
you
they
know?
have,
Okay.
and I will provide that information to you. You won't see Amazon, but the way Amazon is recording their sales tax in Oklahoma, it's under use tax, so it won't it won't impact your sales tax number, but it will impact your use tax number. And the problem with use tax is that it is just wild gyrations. One month you might be up 40%, the next month you may be down 20%. So it's going to really be hard to look at that report and say, oh, that's Amazon. But it shows up in the use tax report.
I'd had several people comment that we were able to isolate and say it's our Amazon money, and so that's why I asked the question.
They can isolate it, and I can find that number out, but we really can't report it publicly,
Okay.
just like any other retail establishment.
These numbers don't reflect use tax, though.
No.
No.
Okay.
No, it's a separate report, and I'll get those. We were able to get the sales tax
Okay.
out, but I'll get the other reports out to you shortly. That's all I have.
Anyone else? No. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to, last meeting, I asked for volunteers to help put flags out at the cemetery and on Memorial Day, and I just want to thank everybody that showed up. We had a good group of people show up and help and put up and take down and what have you, so I was real pleased this year, and I hope everybody was pleased with the way the cemetery looked. The Parks Department did a wonderful job making it look good.
Well, I'll say amen to that. I went out and helped take the flags down because I couldn't make Saturday to put them up. But I've never seen the cemetery look as good as it did. And I've had a tremendous amount of compliments, so Pete and his staff, they've done exceptional. Also, I want to commend our staff. We kept the flags out on Main Street for a little bit longer than usual, a couple of weeks, and they were real good about checking on them every day, making sure the ones that were tangled up or if there were problems, correcting them. And I think that shows a lot of dedication in our staff and everybody. So I want to say thank you for that. Last week, and we've done this for several times, the Oklahoma Municipal League has what's called a citizen leadership program. It's made up of community leaders, city employees, city elected officials, city managers, a wide range of folks from throughout the state. There are about a little over 20 of them came out to Guymon last week. We took them on a tour Thursday. Before, they'd always take them in Black Mesa, but this year we took them on a tour to show them what we did for a living out here, how we made our living. We took them out to Fred Fisher's farm and took a tour. Took them to Hitch One, Chris Hitch, and Bob Bergner gave them a tour of the facility and explained cattle feeding, maybe in a little bit too much detail and maybe a little bit too close for a couple of them, but it was all right. And then we took a tour of the seaboard processing plant. and they gave us the full initiation. They fed us lunch, and fed them lunch. We were there for about 3.5 hours, and it was quite enlightening to most of those people. They had no idea of what the scope of that plan. But it was a good class. I've had a tremendous number of compliments that they were impressed with the community of Guymon, the hospitality they received at every level. So thanks to everybody that assisted in that, or thanks to everybody that just even saw them on the street and said, thanks for being in Guymon. That's about all I've got. Anybody else? All right.
I'll just add, since you jogged my memory, Hitch Tournament was held last weekend, and that's an event that brings in youth to our golf course, and it happened on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. There's a lot of organizers, but I did want to commend the city staff that helped with that tournament. Everybody, they had nothing but good things to say about our golf course.
Yeah, they loved
So I just want to thank the staff out there and anybody that's been helping with that. And I just think that events like that, the focus on the youth is a good thing, and it's even better when we have it in Guymon.
Thank you.
That's it, Mayor.
And in addition, this year they had to turn kids away. They filled the tournament up, and they had 12 spots, 12 kids they had to turn away at the last minute.
And who won it?
Huh?
Who won it?
Well, I can't say. You'll have to brag on him for me.
Grayson Wallace was this year's winner. He just happens to be related to the mayor in some way, shape, or
It
form.
was a neat tournament. I had 4 grandsons play. It was kind of neat.
Wow.
And my wife's an alumni of that class, so it's kind of, pretty
Yeah.
neat deal.
And-
You'll notice what we have in the city hall signs.
Thank you, David.
That we are in city hall today.
We have our address. We have our address finally out on the building. Yeah. Yeah, thanks to Pete and all that helped align the letters.
Yeah. You can find us in case of an emergency, right?
Right.
Catch us on fire.
We want to put the city logo up there, but the number, we choked on the number when we got it.
Yeah.
It was about $20,000, so.
We're good.
We're good?
Yeah, I think we're good. Now,
We'll save that.
there's some very talented.
Some artists?
There's some very
Maybe we can change the
talented
logo.
Yeah, there's some very talented kids around town with cans of spray paint. They
We have a committee out here that might help us out doing that, you know? Yeah. We'll talk tomorrow. Okay.
Any other reports? Agenda item number 15 is new business. Any new business? Not, we'll stand adjourned as the Guymon City Council, and we'll re-adjourn as the Guymon Utilities Authority. Agenda item number 4 is discussion and possible action on approval of invoice number 130008 in the amount of $1,826.80 to Steel Inspectors of Texas Incorporated for the Seaboard Elevated Tower Rehabilitation Project. And this, I assume, is for the inspection services. Any discussion, motion?
I make a motion that we approve payment of $1,826.80 to Steel Inspectors of Texas.
Second.
Have a motion and a second?
Crone.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 5 is discussion and possible action to approve claims list of customers disposing storm debris at the landfill and approve payment.
Now, is this the end?
This is it should be the end. We may have a few residual, but this should be final. It's all of them, okay. Great. We'll produce a little report for you and show you the net.
Okay.
I think it was a very successful program, had good response, didn't get overrun.
Little hiccup with the power situation.
A little hiccup there, yeah,
but
That's
I
the
think-
reason we had the emergency declaration.
that's right.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve claims list of customers dispose of storm debris, item 5.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second?
Swager,
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Crone.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 4 ayes.
Okay. We'll stand adjourned as that, and then we'll reconvene if I find it
Are we going
into a work session.
conference room?
Boards and commission.
Yeah.
Conference room. 5-minute recess.
We'll take a 5-minute recess and we'll reconvene in the conference room. Everybody's welcome to join, who wants to come.
Very general discussion.